Hey guys, Bubba here at the BubbaNews, all in one word, all in one news. I'm gonna get to probably what we need to be talking about, but I need to go over some things too, and I figure I'm just gonna do this as a video and then upload it and probably premiere it tonight because I want to eat and go to bed. But yes, the Gaza ceasefire is over. Israel has attacked Gaza tonight, so maybe we should just go straight to that because there's so much going on with the rhetoric against Iran is building up today with Trump. Earlier today, a big drone, one of the United States drones, was circling over the Elam area of Iran, Jeremiah 49, verse 34 to 37, but it was circling right next to the Bushehr nuclear power plant. So that's coming up. The third consecutive day, Israel's attacking the Houthis. Trump warned the Houthis if they attack the USS Truman aircraft carrier strike group again, they are going to blame Iran and go after them. So a lot of stuff is getting crazy town with Iran is getting ready for full alert. There's a great analysis here. If you guys are on the Telegram, great. If not, I get it. But, I probably need to do more of these YouTube videos because a lot of people don't see this news. So, we need to start doing this more. But the U.S. Drone was kicked out. Israel to Persia in Farsi did a really weird post. Are you ready for Ash Wednesday? But I did say this earlier. Watch Gaza and Hamas. Hamas preparing another attack on Israel, citing military info on unusual Gaza situation. There's so much going on in the Middle East lately and increasing daily. It's unclear why Israel is letting Hamas rebuild terror capabilities ahead of renewed fighting. Gaza terrorists have booby-trapped the roads, tunnels, and buildings in Gaza while the Israeli government continues the hostage talks. So Hamas continues to collect intelligence on the IDF forces there in the buffer zone in Gaza, but the IDF officers are estimating that Hamas is going to go into battle stronger and more organized than when the ceasefire started. Israel has attacked a few terror cells with drones, but Israel is largely keeping this ceasefire, even though it has already expired. So Israel estimates that Hamas currently has around 25,000 operatives in Gaza after a major recruitment effort, while the PIJ, the Palestinian Islamic Jihad forces, are estimated at 5,000 fighters now. There's no progress in the talks on the hostage deal with Hamas. The most realistic scenario is renewed fighting in Gaza soon. They said that at 4:09 p.m. That was about 7.5 hours ago from right now. I'm recording this at 11:39 p.m. Eastern. Fake news about 3 aircraft carriers going to the Middle East, but the drone was kicked out. Sorry, guys, I don't mean to be going through this too fast, but the IDF is hitting in Syria. And I forgot to post this, but the fighting last night between HTS of Jolani of Syria fighting Hezbollah forces in Lebanon, that little battle has stopped, and they've come to a peace agreement all of a sudden, right before Israel started their attack on Gaza. So I did this tonight with Vendog. Thanks for those of you who came in to see us. That was a lot of fun. Tomorrow we're doing a live stream with Pastor Gary McKibben in Ireland at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So let's get right to the case, guys. As many of you heard by now, the Gaza ceasefire is over. Israel resumed its attacks on Gaza and targeted Hamas. The Prime Minister Netanyahu's office statement says Prime Minister Netanyahu and Defense Minister Israel Katz have instructed the IDF to act forcefully against Hamas in the Gaza Strip. The decision comes after Hamas repeatedly refused to release our hostages and rejected all proposals projected by the U.S. President's envoy, Steve Witkoff, and other mediators. At this moment, the IDF is striking Hamas targets across the Gaza Strip to achieve the war's objectives as set by the political leadership, including the release of all of our hostages, both the living and the dead. From this point forward, Israel will escalate its military operations against Hamas with increasing intensity. The operational plan was presented by the IDF last weekend and has been approved by the political leadership. And I said, Israel is getting ready to demolish Gaza. And there's a couple of verses that I'm going to read to you guys here in a few minutes. I'm going to keep this short. We'll keep going. Defense Minister Israel Katz, if Hamas does not release all of the hostages, the gates of hell will open in Gaza and Hamas's murderers and will face the IDF with unprecedented force. We will not stop fighting until all the hostages are brought home and all of our war objectives are achieved. IDF ground forces are also being prepared to resume intensive bombings and operations in Gaza, and Israel has been preparing for this for weeks. Israel will take back the Netzarim corridor, which will close off all movement between the north and south Gaza. Gaza will be split in half, and that's exactly what this Netzarim corridor does. Gaza will be split in half as Israeli forces will take back over the area they left due to the ceasefire agreement. So Israel pulled out of the Netzarim corridor separating North and South Gaza as a goodwill gesture for those people in South Gaza to be able to move back to their homes or what's left of their homes in North Gaza. Well, Israel's going to split that back off. Israel's buffer zone probably will expand, and I agree with what I quoted there, by at least 5 square kilometers per day for every day the hostages remain captive. And out of 59 hostages, Israel believes that there's 22 to 24 still alive. So it's time to speak the only language the Middle East understands. So what's coming to Gaza? Guys, this is not going to be good, but this will fulfill Bible prophecies. These Middle East wars kick off in order to have a peace plan with Israel within 3 to 6 months. Anytime between the June 2nd to 2-4, when they have the big UN peace conference regarding the state of Palestine and Israel peace, June 2 to 4 at the UN in New York City, and September 26, 2025 timeframe. This is when they want to have this done. They want to have this done within 1 year. They want it done by the 1 year anniversary, 9/26/24, of the announcement of GATES, GAITSS, the Global Alliance for the Implementation of the Two-State Solution. This is part of their plan. So back to Gaza, guys. Here's Bible verses that talks about what is coming to Hamas and Gaza. And this is going to set off the Middle East aflame. Big time war is going to break out. We've got Passover coming up. We still have the red heifers. We still have all kinds of stuff. The last 2 weeks of, oh man, I forgot all about that. The next 2 weekends of Ramadan are going to be nuts. Because statistically, the last 2 weekends, the last 2 Fridays especially of Ramadan, are very violent. And now that Israel is restarting war with Gaza, here we go, guys. All right, back to Gaza. So I will send fire upon the wall of Gaza, and it will consume her citadels, that's their fortresses. I will also cut off the inhabitants from Ashdod, and him who holds a scepter from Ashkelon. I will even unleash my power upon Ekron, and the remnant of the Philistines will perish, says the Lord God. Amos 1, 7-8. And whenever we read these verses of Ashdod, Ashkelon, all that, that was all previous Gaza land back when these prophecies were written. Amos 1, 7-8, Ezekiel 25, Jeremiah 47. All these things were written beforehand. So this is all, anyway, let's keep going, Bubba. On account of the day that is coming, that's the day is here coming very soon, to destroy all the Philistines, Hamas, Gaza, to cut off from Tyre and Sidon, these are both 2 cities along the west coast of Lebanon that are very prophetic. Tyre and Psalm 83 war. Psalm 83 verses 6-8 mentions the inhabitants of Tyre, which is Hezbollah, which didn't start until 1982 to 1985. So the War of Independence in 1948 did not fulfill Psalm 83 war. Duh. People just need to study that. But anywho, yeah. But check it out. To cut off from Tyre and Sidon, the Hezbollah stronghold, every ally that is left. For the Lord is going to destroy the Philistines, the remnant of the coastland of Caphtor. That's Jeremiah 47, verse 4. Ezekiel 25, verses 16-17. Thus says the Lord God. Therefore, thus says the Lord God, behold, I will stretch out my hand against the Philistines, even cut off the Cherethites. The Cherethites were so cool because that is actually where David killed Goliath. It's the part of eastern Gaza that goes into Israel before you even get up to Bethlehem and Jerusalem in the center, but this is the area that's very prophetic. Cut off the Cherethites and destroyed the remnant of the Gaza seacoast. I will execute great vengeance on them with wrathful rebukes. And then they will know that I am the Lord when I lay my vengeance on them. Guys, Israel's getting ready to destroy Gaza and Hamas, and they're going to take a huge hitting. Last verse, Zephaniah 2, verses 4 through 7. But verse 5, woe to the inhabitants of the seacoast, the nation of the Cherethites, Gaza. The word of the Lord is against you, O Canaan, land of the Philistines, and I will destroy you, so that there will be no inhabitant. Zephaniah 2:5. Guys, these wars coming up with Gaza. Oh, let's keep going. But yeah, here's what's going on. And I'll finish it off with this. Why is this even happening? Why is the ceasefire collapsing? The ceasefire collapsed because Israel and the Trump administration have been pressuring Hamas to extend phase 1 of the hostage deal, which would continue releasing a few hostages every week. And Israel would end up releasing a bunch of these Palestinian prisoners that are terrorists from the Israeli prisons just to get Israel's people back, the hostages back. And they wanted to have this peace plan and the ceasefire to continue through the end of this month for Ramadan, and possibly even go up until the Passover time of next month in April. So we've got that going on, and the Passover time frame on Israel's calendar is April 13th, 14th, that time frame of Saturday, Sunday, I believe. And then I forget the actual dates, guys, but you know what I'm saying. Sorry. Here we go. What's the date? Next month, we go to April. Yeah, right here, the 19th and the 20th. Yeah, the 20th is Easter. So the 19th and 20th to Israel is, it's our current Easter to us, but the Passover for Israel is the previous week, April 12 and 13. Anywho, so Hamas says that this constitutes a violation of this agreement and that phase 2 needs to be implemented for more hostages to be freed. But, Hamas has been driving a wedge between Washington and D.C., Jerusalem. And, Hamas said, we will offer to release an American Israeli hostage along with 4 to 5 dead bodies as part of a separate deal. But the Trump administration rejected that offer. So did Israel. So tonight, the IDF struck targets across the Gaza Strip, officially ending the ceasefire. Israel canceled school activities in communities in the southern parts of the country near the border for all day tomorrow, probably going forward, because they're expecting an attack to come in from Gaza and Hamas on Israel. In the plan, the IDF has presented the Israeli decision makers with this operational plan to strike Hamas strongholds and effectively clear the strip of any Hamas infrastructure. But here's where it gets interesting. Unlike in this war's early stages with Hamas, the IDF divisions are no longer urgently required in the north, along the northern border, following Hezbollah's defeat. Okay, but guys, keep in mind, Hezbollah just started a war last night with the HTS Jolani fighters of Syria. So that scuffle was going on, and that looked like that was going to heat up. And now that they've stopped fighting each other, they can now start focusing back on Israel. And now that Israel is going to start hitting Gaza, I have a feeling Hezbollah is going to start launching rockets again at the north. And Israel has those 5 outposts in southern Lebanon trying to defend it with a buffer zone. This could get nutty, Professor, pretty quick. Israeli sources have said nothing as to the meaning of this operation and the fate of the dozens of Israeli hostages still held captive by Hamas. Well, I have a feeling they're going to probably perish very soon if they have not already, the ones that are left alive because this war has restarted. Okay, this shift enables the IDF to undertake what was previously impossible in Gaza, a synchronized assault on Gaza's north, south, and center parts. And last week, the new chief of staff came in, and he has promised a crushing victory in his first public remarks. When he says crushing victory, he's talking about crushing and destroying Gaza to get rid of Hamas. If the operation does expand into a ground maneuver, and it already has, as tanks have already been shelling into Gaza City tonight and other places, the Palestinian population will be called to evacuate to a designated humanitarian zone near the primary hub of international aid efforts. But here's where it gets nuts. Reliable sources indicate that this will require the near total evacuation of Gaza's populated areas. All the places that all these Gazans have returned to in these huge cities like Gaza City and whatnot, they're going to be called to evacuate again. This is going to get nuts. And Israel's not going to wait for them to evacuate. They're going to tell them one day or basically within 6 hours, like you need to be here by yesterday or else you're under attack. So this is going to get nuts, guys. And it's something I'm going to start paying attention to. And actually, I need to start doing more videos like this. Anyway, let's finish up because I don't want to keep this, but I keep talking. Okay, here we are at the end. The Israeli Air Force strikes this evening have resulted in dozens of those who have passed away across the Gaza Strip and dozens more injured. Guys, there's been over, I don't even know, 130 plus who have been unalived now already. And they're showing all kinds of videos of unalived children and babies and whatnot. And it's horrible. I've seen the photos. I've seen the videos even coming out. The ambulances are being wrapped up so they can't even come out to help up because they're wrapped up with trying to get other people. So people are bringing in carts of people on donkeys and horses. And it's wild times. But, let's finish it off. A military response by Hamas is expected. So, guys, this is going to get nuts. And I apologize for keep talking. I just figured, you know what, let's get this out there.